I want to raise some big questions tonight that are raised from this horrific incident in Dehradun. Are hate crimes on the rise, as some seem to suggest? Is racism in Indian society a reality? Time to confront racism head-on, particularly when it involves students from the Northeast in this instance. Let's go straight to our talking point. And to answer those big questions, joining me now, two special guests, Suhas Chakma, Director, Rights and Risk Analysis Group. And joining me now also, Pradyot Manikya, founder, Tipra Motha, member of the One Northeast Foundation, a leader from Tripura. Appreciate both of you joining us. Pradyot, let me come to you first because you've taken up very strongly the case of Anjel Chakma. The police officer that we've spoken to just now says it was not a racial attack. He seems to suggest it was just an altercation that went out of control. Do you believe, are you convinced based on what the father has told you of Anjel, what his brother has said, that this was actually a racial attack and the police are not telling the truth?
You know, from the very beginning, they refused to file an FIR for the first 24 hours till the father actually had to reach Uttarakhand and assist in the FIR to be registered. My sister, who's an MP, calling up the Chief Minister's office, and after the intervention, the police had to file an FIR, shows that the police's attitude has been from the very beginning trying to cover up the entire incident. Now, my point is, let's look at one thing, Rajdeep. 25,000 rupees for anyone who will give message about one of the absconders, the perpetrators who's apparently fled over to Northeast, to Nepal. Now, is 25,000 the price of Anjel Chakma or anyone's life? So that is the sort of attitude we have seen. Here's another argument that one person happens to be from Manipur, hence it cannot be a racial crime. In the Northeast, Rajdeep, you're well aware that there are people who are living from Rajasthan, people who are living from Madhya Pradesh, from Karnataka, from Kerala. That does not mean that they're ethnically Northeastern or Mongolian or Asian looking people. And if you are aware, if they think that if somebody is from the Northeast, then the Northeastern racial crime cannot take place. In Karbi Anglong, 1 week ago, there were slogans, Karbi Chinese go back. This was happening in Assam. So there are incidences where racial crimes do take place, but if you look at the entire statement of the police officer, it looks like they're trying to cover up the incident and they would like to protect these people who have actually killed Anjel Chakma. And I would rather believe the father, the BSF Jawan, who protects the boundaries of India from the Chinese. And his son has today died for being by being called Chinese. I would rather believe the father, I would rather believe the brother than believe this police officer who from the very beginning has done everything to curtail, to actually kill this entire investigation.
Are you saying, therefore, that you're not willing to give the police of Uttarakhand the benefit of the doubt until even though the investigation is still on, you're convinced, as you're saying, that there is some kind of a cover-up? But why would the police want to cover up an instance like this? Why would the police want to? They've arrested 5 of the 6. One has reportedly escaped to Nepal. Pushkar Dhami, the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, has spoken to Manik Shah in Tripura and said all action will be taken. Why are you not convinced, Pradyot?
See, I am not convinced because from the very beginning, they failed to register an FIR. When the incident took place, the students, there were Tripura Students Federation, there were Chakma students who went and tried to file an FIR. They refused, saying, "Ye chota hadsa hai. Isme aap kyun tang ada rahe ho?" Then they got in touch with my sister, they got in touch with me. We reached out to the CMO and then the FIR was registered. The father had to travel to Uttarakhand and he's a BSF Jawan. After that, they filed an FIR. They gave enough time for these people to actually flee. Only after there was outrage, outroar, did they take some action. Today, when the brother is saying that they called us momos, chinkies, this is not the first time. You know, when Nido Tania was also killed 10 years ago and Bezbaruah Committee was set up, that time also the police tried to brush it aside as a fight between two people, a misunderstanding. Every time something happens, they like to live in denial because obviously हमारा जिंदगी तो सस्ता है, उनका जिंदगी उन लोगों को तो बचाना है लोगों को, लेकिन नॉर्थ ईस्ट and India cannot progress till the time we don't address the elephant in the room, which is that racism exists. It existed against South Indians at a certain point of time. It exists against Northeasterners, and every student, every worker faces this every day. And if the police does not want to acknowledge that, then there will come a time when these actions will have a larger implication.
Because
You know,
you,
the
you,
Chakma
you just
community
mentioned
in Bangladesh.
you just mentioned the Bezbaruah Committee report following the death of Nido Tania about a decade ago. They had asked for a standalone law or suitable amendments in the existing law. The recent amendments to the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, such as Section 196, speak about crimes of promoting enmity based on race. Are you saying they are insufficient? When it comes to targeted violence against someone from the Northeast, do you believe the existing laws are the problem, or the implementation and the stereotypes and prejudices are the problem?
See, you can make a law. It's a very good question, Rajdeep. You can make a law. But if you do not have the heart to implement it, then no matter what you do, it will never yield results. So today, when a student from Northeast goes to, let's say, Bangalore, or goes to Delhi, goes to Gurugram, and then people mock at us, talk about when COVID happened, they said Chinese virus, Corona, Northeast virus. So till the time the mentality doesn't change, and the mentality can only change if the people of the rest of India are also taught about Northeast. We are taught about what is happening in Agra. We are taught about the Mughals. We are taught about the Cholas. We are spoken about the entire history of India. How much of our history is actually taught in the national curriculum to the rest of India? So when you start questioning an Indian just because they eat differently, they look differently, then you can make any amount of law. It is not going to address the elephant in the room.
I just want to go to Suhas Chakma for a moment. Suhas Chakma, your first reactions to what we've seen. Do you believe that this is a clear case of racial hate that was Anjel Chakma was a victim of? The police is trying to play down the issue. Does that worry you, trouble you?
Well, I mean, definitely it's a racial crime, and it has been taking place across the country, from the streets of Delhi in Lajpat Nagar in 2014 when Nido Tania was killed. And there is a specific recommendation from the Bezbaruah Committee to enact a law against racial discrimination, racial violence. And until and unless we actually enact a law against racial discrimination, it doesn't create fear among the populace.
We will try and get back to Mr. Chakma in a moment, but I just want to play for a moment what Pushkar Dhami, the Uttarakhand Chief Minister, said. He spoke on the phone line to Anjel Chakma's father. He also spoke, as I said earlier, to the Tripura Chief Minister. Just listen in, because all this was filmed, and many are saying this is now being converted into a bit of a PR event by the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. Listen in first to his conversation with Anjel Chakma's father.
एक्चुअली में बहुत ही दुखद घटना हुआ। हम बहुत दुखी हैं इससे, और इस पर हमने बहुत सख्त कार्रवाई के लिए कहा है यहाँ पर, है ना। और पांच लोग जो भी इसमें थे बदमाश, 5 गिरफ्तार कर लिए गए हैं, जो भी इस घटना में जिन्होंने भी अपराध में किया है। और एक कोई नेपाल का था, शायद वो नेपाल भागा हुआ है, कहाँ है, तो उसके ऊपर इनाम यहाँ घोषित हमने कर दिया है, और उसको पकड़ने के लिए भी टीम वहाँ पर भेज दी गई है। जो भी लोग इसके दोषी हैं उनको हम लोग कड़ी से कड़ी सज़ा दिलाएंगे। यहाँ मैंने उनसे भी बात किया था, हमारे जो मुख्यमंत्री जी हैं डॉक्टर मानिक शाह जी से भी परसों मेरा बात हुआ था, उनका भी फ़ोन आया था, और माननीय गृह मंत्री जी का, रक्षा मंत्री जी, सभी लोगों ने बात किया है मुझे, है ना। तो हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं इसमें।
You see this, Pradyot, this conversation that has been put on tape by of the Uttarakhand Chief Minister speaking to Anjel Chakma's father, assuring him that all action will be taken. Do you see it as a PR damage limitation exercise, that it's all being filmed, or do you believe there is genuine empathy out there?
Well, if there is genuine empathy, well, it does not show. At least that's what I would like to say. Second thing, we do not want any empathy or sympathy. What we want is action. And there is one person who's absconding. 25,000 rupees has been put as a bounty on his head. I have already said that we will pay 10 lakhs from our side. Please get him arrested and bring him to justice. What we want is not a show in front of a camera. What we want is justice, and we want this to stop. You see, one thing, there are Chakmas in Bangladesh, there are Tripuris in Bangladesh, there are Khasis, Garos, and Jaintias, Manipuris in Bangladesh. Today, Hindu Bengalis are killed, Chakmas are killed. We raise voice against minorities in Bangladesh. And this is, we see that India is separate. And then today in our own country, a citizen of our own country is killed just because he looks different. What face can we show to Bangladesh when we say that they do not protect the minorities? This is not only about one incident. This is about the psyche of this country. This country is a great country. We love our country. We want this country to progress. But it can only progress when you admit that there is an inherent flaw. And if we admit to a flaw, we can rectify the flaw by working together. So while I appreciate that after 17 days, he did make a call to Anjel Chakma's father, I appreciate that. I think the real appreciation will come when that fellow is arrested and all these 5 of them are put to justice.
Okay, strong words there from you, Pradyot. I appreciate you joining us. I hope Pushkar Dhami is listening to our conversation either way. I hope he's listening to my take, because it's time now for my take on this issue. Well, let me give you my take on the issue. Racial prejudice towards students from the Northeast has been a festering problem. Anjel Chakma's tragic death is another reminder of how hate in the air can easily spiral into violence. For the Uttarakhand police to claim that only derogatory remarks were made in jest and were not racial is symbolic of the problem. What is jest about calling out someone for his looks to the point where the person has to repeatedly assert that I am an Indian and not Chinese? And if the Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Dhami wants to show empathy, good. But he doesn't need to film his conversation with Anjel's father, but should ensure that all the accused are arrested and given swift punishment. For God's sake, don't convert a family's tragedy into a PR event, but ensure that the rule of law is enforced with a firm hand. Angel's death must not go unpunished, and we must make every effort to ensure that it's never repeated. We cannot have racial hate being spread on this kind, whether in jest, because there is nothing like jest when it comes to racial hate. Think about it.